Hello, it's me. Sorry. I was doing like when I do my Zoom meetings. Sorry. And I'm like waiting for it to pop up, like, admit. How is everybody? Um, I just was looking at a text message because I don't know if you guys are familiar with what happened in Texas yesterday with all the storms in Kerrville. And I have like an acquaintance here who was supposed to go down there because they're also from Texas, and their boys were supposed to go to camp. And I was like checking with another mom, I was like, have you heard from them? Check in on them because I think their boys are supposed to be at one of those camps, and I'm not sure if they're there yet, but thankfully they're safe. Um, my mom has a piano student that was actually at Camp Mystic, which is the girls' camp. And thankfully her piano student is safe, but it is absolutely devastating um, what's going on down there. So anyway, how is everybody? Weather prediction. I did a reading for somebody this week, and I thought it was relevant to share with everybody. At least here in the United States, it doesn't really affect my y'all that are overseas. Hi, Gabrielle. Hi, Lexi and Ashley. It's devastating what happened down there. It's absolutely horrific, and I think I was having a hard time just because my youngest is the age of a lot of those little girls that are missing. And then I was like talking to my mom. I was like, Jesus Christ, I was like, the counselors are teenagers themselves. Like, they're so young. I cannot even imagine, like, and then they're responsible for all these little bitties. Like, it's just devastating. It's just the whole thing. I feel like, because I was like thinking, like, did they have a plan? But apparently there was many people who were not working, they didn't have jobs, or they retired because of Trump. And that would have helped with better warning and better preparedness. Hi, Catherine. So prediction. So I was doing a reading for somebody. I can't remember who it was for. Not that it's any of your business because it was a private reading, but and something about weather came up, and I was like, well, I think weather-wise this year, I really feel like the Gulf Coast is going to get hit more, on like Alabama shores area is kind of what I was being shown. And I don't know if it's 3 hurricanes or Cat 3, but I'm leaning towards it being 3 hurricanes going that way, or 3 named storms, but definitely feel like at least 1 hurricane. And then I felt like I was like, I feel like a tropical storm coming up on the East Coast, on the Eastern Seaboard. I said, I was like, I know there's something out there right now, but I didn't know where it was or anything about it. And we're getting it, which is South Carolina just got hit with a tropical storm. It's going to kind of, I think, go back out before it gets to Jersey. So that's my predictions. I don't feel any giant storms, there's always devastation. I feel like with storms, there's always, somebody is always impacted. It's not just it's no big deal. But that's what I feel. I feel like the Alabama shores area is really kind of gonna get hit a little bit more this year. That's gonna just, whatever the weather patterns are, it's kind of just pushing everything in that direction. All right, so let's get started. The big ugly bill. I want to also talk about like some other predictions I made here, like a week before David Hogg, I don't know how you say his name, came out and said he was going to like basically primary the Dems and force people out, like challenge some of these old seats that are, there. And that there would be like splits of parties and stuff. And I said that, and it's sort of like coming to fruition. Oh, your car AC sucks. I got your email. Actually, I was actually like so excited. That's like, I'm so happy for you. Update for anybody else who's curious. Ashley did get to keep her 2 classes like I predicted last week. And I was like, there's a slight change for it. I don't know what it is, but it's like not bad. It's just a change. And she actually has her own classroom now. And so, whereas before she was having to move classrooms, so now she gets to decorate and have it cute. And there's no update yet on the principal, but things aren't looking like they're in her favor. So, yeah, I think those people would still be working, and there would have been, they did have predictions of it, but like they didn't get the continual, like the people that were in the local areas that would have updated and given better notifications and been more in contact with those in the local area certainly would have been more. And I just think whatever, it wouldn't have happened. I mean, we can hope that it wouldn't have happened. The thing with that area is there's not a lot, there's nowhere for like the water to soak into the ground because it's really rocky. And so it's known to get flash flooding, and it was just, so much rain in such a short period of time. And it's not like, I mean, believe me, Donald Trump is a piece of shit, but I also think like, she's not there. Kamala's not there. And so I don't know. I just really hope that everybody who's missing their loved one at least finds someone and finds them and gets closure. And I mean, it's not closure, but it's just feeling like they're, especially, that their loved ones are, I mean, to not know, I think is probably the worst, to not know, and to just feel like, I don't know, it's just awful. My family's safe. They're not anywhere near that area. Canyon Lake is actually, we used to go to Canyon Lake on my uncle's boat. Like he had a boat out there for a long time when I was little. And Leakey, Texas, it's spelled Leakey, but it's pronounced Lakey, Texas, is one area that was hit. And he had a cabin there. But there, I mean, well, he's dead now, so right. But I'm familiar with the area. It's not, my family's safe though. They were like in Houston and like the main part of San Antonio, and they were fine. It was more in the hill country that got hit. So, okay, so what's this purple crown thing? What did I miss out on? What purple? I have no idea. That's something new. I have no idea. So I don't know what y'all are doing. I figured out how to, so I was saying, like, I think the two-party thing is, and I also predicted a while ago, I really need to go through my videos and label this stuff better. I also predicted a while ago about like that I thought they were going to come up with congressional term limits. And some states are now introducing bills to do that. So I just saw that on TikTok. So I don't know how much of it is true or what states or, the stages of all of that. But things change, and sometimes, unfortunately, things have to be kind of sort of shitty. I don't know if anybody heard too that like apparently somebody leaked that Trump said like, oh, the tariffs are all like, I'm just making all that up just to like kind of get people to do what I want, coercion. So that's awesome. Yeah. Anyway. I'm just finding a piece of paper to or a notebook that has a clear piece of paper to write on. Okay. So let's start doing reading. Wait, what a brat? What does that mean? Yeah, so I don't know what's going on with everybody else. Let's do some questions. Let's get through some of these. And then we can do the card readings at the end like we did. So if anybody wants to stick around and get a little free card reading, even if you're not paying for a reading today, you'll get a free card reading because I'll let you pick the decks again. We'll do it that way. So you guys get your own individual little card pulls. I've got so many decks. You all know I have so many decks. I have more upstairs. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 here now. I will bring other ones down for next week. I'm going to build a little bookshelf and put some more of my cards out down here because really I need to be a little more organized. Trump's a brat. Yeah, pretty much. Okay. So let's start doing reading. Wait, what a brat? What does that mean? 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 What does that mean Devry. Yeah, Devry, hello. Will I get the voucher I'm on the list for in California? Second question, will my finances be more in place for my move to Las Vegas next year? Yes to the next year one. I do feel like you have to do a little bit of juggling, but you'll have them ready to go. Voucher in California. I feel like yes, but it's like there's a delay, or I don't know if it's like there's rounds of picks, and so you find out like they find out like 1 week so many people picked, and next week so it's like I feel like in the second round, something like that. I have no idea how that works, but it feels like a second round pick, or like maybe you don't get it like the first thing, but it's like you do the second time around. The other thing I keep feeling like with Vegas is like you're going to not need as much money as you think you do. So you'll be better off than you realize that you are. And there's something about either it's like more walkable or than where you're at, or easier to get around with like not having a car, because I feel like maybe you don't have a car, there's an issue with that, but I just feel like it's much easier. Transportation feels easier. Getting around feels easier. And I also feel like maybe doing something that you never expected you would. So like maybe you never thought you would like work in a casino, and you'll be working in a casino or something like that. You're very welcome. Thank you for your patience in doing those readings, because I know you paid for it a couple weekends ago. Gabrielle, you're up next. So, yeah. I want to keep reminding you that I feel like whatever it is that happens with Trump, that like the power gets pulled out from under him for 2026. Like he just feels deflated and not able to do what he wants to do. I also think like this alligator Alcatraz thing, like it's horrific, the sound of it, absolutely. But I feel like it ends up being a nothing burger. Like it's not going to be what they want it to be, or what they're envisioning, that it won't go anywhere. Again, this is one of their scare tactics. So it sounds like it's going to be something, but it's really not going to go anywhere. And I also feel like it's sort of like a scam in order to give money to, like it's somehow greases somebody's hands that he knows and or favors him, that it's not going to go where they want it to go. KK, how are you? I hope you're well. I was thinking about you earlier today. Oh, okay. I'll look. Um, got it. Okay, I've got it, KK. I'm okay. I was telling everybody earlier that like I don't know, we were talking about the storms in Texas, and the all the people whose lives have been lost, and all the little girls from that camp. My mom had a piano student that was actually there. Thankfully, she's fine, but traumatized. And I was like, well, she's never going to sleepaway camp again, I'm sure, because that's pretty awful. Um, and like all those little girls are around my daughter's age, and it's just like heartbreaking. So send out energy and healing to them that their babies are found. I honestly don't feel like any of them have survived. And it's just pray that they're able to find and recover their bodies, so I can help move them forward, at least into some of their grieving process. Um, I cannot even imagine. Okay, so let me add you to the list, KK. All right, Gabrielle, let's do yours. I think that water came up so fast. And also like I was telling y'all last week how dry the ground was. And like just even walking around the cemetery in San Antonio, the ground is so dry. And I was like, I was telling my mom too, I was like, I came back here and I was like, God, New Jersey's lush. Like it's so green up here compared to San Antonio. And the hill country area is much drier than like where my mom's at. And she's in Houston, which is like just off, she's about an hour drive to the coast. And they get more rain. It's more humid and stuff there. Hi, Katrina. Okay. So like dry ground does not take water very well either. Plus they have all the rock underneath it. And so there's nowhere for it to go but down river. I don't know why I was writing Christina for you. True. Oops. I don't have the payment yet, but I will look for it. I'll just keep you on the list. Okay. Oh, Gabrielle, where's your question? There it is. Okay. May I just have a general message I need to hear today? Been feeling a lot of anxiety this weekend. I'm not sure why. I actually feel like the anxiety is coming from, I know this sounds weird, but I'm going to give you a message too. But my sense is the anxiety is probably coming from like some of the planetary shifts that are happening. The Gemini Uranus moving into Gemini is going to create for a lot of people, a lot of upheaval, a lot of changes. I know for me, I'm an Aries rising, and it's talking about like changes in home life, changes in relationships with friends. And so like over the next year, it's going to be like lots of shifts and movement in that way. Oops. And like then other stuff that's going on speaks to a lot of change and growth. So, but that's the feeling I get. It's like it's probably right around that for you. Is like there's some big planetary shifts happening, and that can create energetically lots of shifts. And when there's big energetic changes, sometimes it feels like anxiety. So let's like look into that too. Yeah, a lot of change coming. Okay, so call upon. Yeah, I feel like you hold your anxiety right here in your solar plexus. Oh, interesting. I actually feel like you're really connected to. So I don't know if we've talked about this in readings before about you being really intuitive yourself. And I feel like you're really kind of connecting into the greater events, the bigger events, like the stuff that's happening with the missing little girls. That can create that, and like bigger events that happen, you might start to feel some of the like feel it as anxiety when there's going to be big events that happen in the world. That might be how it starts to present for you as a clairsentient, right? So empathic or clairsentient. Okay, Christine. And that might be a bit of why that's going on. This is weird. They're showing me like you going outside and like spending time, but like touching the trees and like maybe talking to the trees or like connecting with the trees. And I feel like I don't feel like you and your husband are fighting. I just feel like he senses I don't want to say like sadness, but like and it's not even like anxiety, but like just in the how you're internalizing a lot and sort of and I feel like he feels helpless to be able to like fix it, and he's a fixer and he's not really sure what to do with it. And so because he's not sure how to help you and you're sort of kind of in your own little bubble, it feels like there's a little distance. So might be good to reach out to him and sort of just kind of talk, open up the subject, because he's not a good mind reader. You didn't get one of those. Uh, he's a good fixer, but then also remind him that like you don't need him to fix you, just to like support you is enough. And like you reassuring him that you know that like he does support you, but that like that is enough. I feel like that's really important. Yeah. But like even just communicating that that's where you're at with him will help kind of remove any little bit of distance that's there. Sometimes we forget that. Like I said to somebody, it was an email question they sent out, and I said, I think it was to you. But like the not knowing is actually worse. Like people think that if I just, well, I don't want to worry people. I don't want to tell them about what's going, I don't want anybody to worry. But like sometimes people go to like these crazy places when they're worried, and they're worrying unnecessarily because somebody's choosing to not communicate. And it doesn't mean you have to divulge your most inner darkest secrets, but like when it's obvious that something's going on, even just giving somebody the reassurance eases their worries. And no, it's not your job, but like when you love somebody and care about them, the biggest gift you can give to them is like not to allow them to worry. And like you think that you're not allowing them to worry by like keeping secrets, but truly people, everybody, literally everyone is more intuitive than they realize on the whole. We have a little staycation planned in a few weeks, and I think we both need that. I definitely think you need that. Because he really, like, he's a good guy. You got a good one. He really does want to be connected, but it's hard to know how to be connected when someone doesn't communicate. And honestly, you're sort of depriving yourself of this like amazing gift by not allowing him in. He's not your mom. He could never be your mom. Okay, Christine, I did get your payment. And Regine, I got your payment. Let's see. Someone else said they said, and I would look. Oh, Katrina, I didn't get your payment yet. Did the picture, was it a picture of me or was it a picture of a butterfly? You sent a double payment. It's not showing up. Oh, wait, this is weird. Oh, nope. This is for an hour. That's for a reading. Did they do this the wrong way? Let me see. I think she did this the wrong way. Sorry. Oh no, she got it. Okay. Let me see if I can get in. It wasn't letting me wasn't logging me into my PayPal before, and then it was like you have to call. I'm like, come on. Now it's giving me the circle of death. Hold on. Sorry, you're going to hear a ding, I think. Okay. Give me a second and I will go in and look at. I fixed it so I could do my business account on here because it was being stupid. Yep, I don't have one from you. So let me know what picture was on it on PayPal, Katrina, because I have two PayPal accounts, and well, actually, let me look on the other one. Because I don't have a payment, so double check that you sent it to the right thing. Oh, so stupid, y'all. For that, I can't look at my other account because it says I have to call and confirm, which is really annoying. Let me check and see if it came through on an email somewhere. I'm not showing the payment, my dear. Okay. Let's see. Well, it's not that I don't, it's just not showing on PayPal. There's no picture. It says it's for, there should be a picture. Can you send me a screenshot to my email so I can see what you have? Try and figure it out. It's not that I don't believe you, but I just like, maybe I can figure out what the issue is. I can know where I'm looking. Okay. Hi, Larry. Good to see you. Okay, Catherine, let me answer your questions. Okay. Will I somehow get my credit cards paid off in the next 12 months? Yeah, I feel like you might actually have something where you end up like combining them onto one card, or what do they call that? I also feel like there's a card you should be calling and getting a lower interest rate on it, like calling them. I don't know if it's debt consolidation or if you end up just transferring the balance from one to a lower that has a lower percentage APR on it. Yeah, it's something like that. Like I don't feel like I feel like you'll be able to get it done. Actually, like it might be 18 months. So I feel like the majority of it like will be 12 months, and I feel like you get it pop back on just a little bit for a repair or like an appliance or something for the house. So that kind of puts you back a little bit, but the majority of it, I feel like you're done within 12 months, and then you just have a little bit of debt after that, and then you're totally debt free on your credit cards in 18 months. It's funny. It's like I feel like they're like I'm like so like for validation purposes. I don't really care what you spend money on. It's like I feel like most of it's like legitimate on there, and then it was like sort of like if maybe got a little. I don't know if you have ADHD, but it's like that like ADHD spending, like where you just kind of went a little hog wild at one point. But it's not like I had a friend who would when I was first a nurse. I'd been a nurse for maybe a year or two. She was a teacher, so I knew she had a teacher salary that she worked in in the summer. She picked up extra things and worked at games and things to make extra money because we know the teachers aren't paid very much, and I was not paid very much as a nurse in Austin. Austin like sucks about paying their nurses, but I remember it's like she was taking all these trips and going on cruises, and I was like, how could she afford that? Because I think because I grew up poor that I live within my means. If I can't afford it, I don't put stuff on credit. I don't like um I still like I'm having to train myself out of that mentality, even though we perfectly fine. I just um like that it's okay to spend a little money. Um but I don't feel like you're doing that. Like it doesn't feel that way to me. Like you're just being frivolous and not thinking. Um And I actually don't even it's so funny because I feel like you carry shame around it, but your husband, like, wouldn't really care. He'd be like, "Okay, it's fine, like, whatever, we'll figure it out." Like, just like, I think he'd be more annoyed that you're paying the interest on it than that you actually have the debt on it. Just saying. Like, I think you both have it's just been sitting there and I can only pay the minimum. Yeah. And I just feel like it's a matter of, like, getting them onto one card and then doing it, and the other thing is, like, just if you can pay $10 above the minimum, pay $10 above the minimum. Because it will take you so long to pay off. Like they jack you around so hard with credit cards. It's so insane. Um, but if you can pay like $10 or $50 above the minimum, do that. But I also feel like the consolidating it and like getting it onto one card. So maybe that means like maybe it means your husband gets a 0% interest rate card and you transfer the balances and then you pay it off that way for like he gets a 0% for a year and you balance transfers and you transfer the balances and you pay it off that way. I feel like you're able to do it. And there's just something about like maybe an appliance, like needing an appliance or putting an appliance, like something with like a practical thing that needs to be fixed that can't be ignored that sort of pushes you out to really being able to pay it off in like 18 months. 12 feels like a little tight. It's doable though. Most of the things we buy, we don't need. I have a whole lot of crafts that will tell you that. Like, yeah. Okay. Davri, I got you for another one. I wonder why the Katrina is not showing up for me. Oh, Katrina, I've got it. It's here now. I've got you, dear. So I don't know why there was a delay, but it's here. I got it. All right. So all is right in the world again. Okay. And you paid for 2, right? Okay. So I'll update that. I'll fix that for you. And then Deborah, I'll get you on here. Okay. So what's your other? Oh shit! Where did it go? Sorry. Sorry. I don't know what I hit. Okay. Catherine, what's your other questions? Oh, should I try to finish my counseling move on with the janky degree? What's a janky degree? What is a janky degree? What does that mean? What's interesting, I actually feel like without even knowing what the janky degree is, I feel like you'll do the janky degree. What you'll decide is doing is do the janky degree. I'm curious what this is though, so please tell me. And then you'll finish your counseling degree, but eventually, not right now. Um, I can get whatever alternative they give me. What does that mean though? Yo, I got my nails done with this gel nail before I went to San Antonio for my uncle's funeral, like 2 days before. It's not even been 2 weeks and they're already peeling. I'm picking at them a little because they annoy me, but or I can, okay, wait. I can get whatever alternative they give me, or I can get reapply for counseling department next month. And they would likely, they'll accept you back. They'll accept you back. But I almost feel like you do something first and then go back to the counseling. Would it be possible for you to get whatever this janky degree is and go into the counseling department? Also, I think that I'm not saying clinicals aren't hard. So I want to clarify that this is not to dismiss them and but also I think you're making it out to be way scarier than it is. And I also think you're not giving yourself enough credit, right? Because I feel like it's like that imposter syndrome thing. So when I graduated from nursing school, like when I was in clinicals, I always had my instructor that would help me, and also the nurse that I was working with. And I knew that there was all these safety nets. And when I graduated from nursing school, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to kill someone. Like I felt very scared about it. And the fact is like, cause I thought I don't have my clinical instructor with me to help me out if if I fucked it all up, or to keep me from fucking it all up. And, I found that that wasn't the case, because you have coworkers and you have more senior nurses and you have your charge nurse and you also have the residents and the attendings. And sometimes the residents know a lot less than the nurses, but there's always people there. It's a team. It's teamwork, right? It's not just the doctor does all the saving and just the nurse. Like it's all teamwork. I feel like some of those people that are actually left or will be leaving, and there's going to be new instructors to help you through the clinicals. So would you be able to get this janky degree and then go back to still do your clinicals? Because there's something where I feel like I get this, but then I'm able to go back and do that. That's the feeling I get. I had a good seminar later too, and they were good advocates. Oh, CB. I understand that experience. My clinical director was a godsend. I will hopefully be accepted to MEA starting next fall. I apply in December. MFA. Master's in what's FA? Sorry. I'm like fine arts. Creative writing. Oh, okay. I mean, I just heard you can do whatever you want. Sky's the limit. I feel like you'll get into the MFA program, no problem. There's something with you finish in the fall. Yeah. I feel like you'll get that, but so can you, because you haven't quite answered what I asked. can you get the janky one and then still do the clinicals? Like, because there's this feeling of like, I do the janky one, but then I'm getting this other. So maybe the other degree is not the clinicals, but it's the MFA program. But I'm just curious if the other way is a possibility. Gotcha. So I'm telling you, you're asking me questions that you've already answered yourself. So that it's like I feel like I'm taking the janky one, and then there's more schooling, there's something else. So it's probably the MFA program that I'm picking up on. And you'll do well in there. I feel like you might end up going a little different direction than you thought you would. Um, my cousin's daughter, so she's like my second cousin, ended up getting a degree, and she's a doctor, like literature, and there's a specific time period, and she's going to kill me because I did hear her. I think it was like around World War One or World War Two and forward. But she's now like works as an editor for something and doing really well. And she gets to travel and have all this great time. So um, I feel like whatever you do with your degree, you end up doing, you still with us, you have this degree, you end up doing something slightly different than you would have expected. Still within the creative field, but just slightly different. Like she travels all over the world because they do translations of books from other countries. So that's what I feel. Okay, what's your third question? I'll be able to go to MFA school next fall with a good funding package. Yeah, actually, I feel like you will. I don't think it'll be a full ride, but it'll definitely make it much easier than what you would have been able to do. Uh, and I say that because I feel like there's something screwy, just mostly because of Trump for a little bit. Um, but I do feel like you'll get a good package. Do they ever do where they offer for you to like teach afterwards, or there's like something there where like you get like if you got like a full ride, you somehow then have to work there? Because it feels like it might be something like that. Or like while you're going to school, you might be teaching some courses to help, something like that. So are you doing the program at the same school you're teaching at now? No, I feel like it'll be the school that you're going to. I don't fully know if it feels like the way it would have like when I was a nurse, the hospital I've worked with said like if you basically if you're going back to school, we'll pay for your schooling as long as your grades are a certain place, and then you're required to work here. I mean, you're still getting paid or whatever, an additional like 3 years or whatever, guaranteed that you will stay and work for us for 3 years, or you have to pay back all of the schooling. So it's something like that, like the feeling of like they give you funding but there's some attachment to it. So it might be that like, and also you teach some lower level, beginner courses or whatever in your specialty, or you're a TA for somebody else that's currently working there. It's something like that. It doesn't feel like it's a giant obligation, like you couldn't do it. But that's what it feels like to me. And again, I'm happy to be wrong, but that's the feeling. Okay. All right, CB, what are your questions? So wherever you end up, I feel like you will get that, which offsets obviously significantly. Earlier in the week, I mentioned that an old acquaintance, yes, suitor that I went to college with, mentioned he wanted to date me and seemingly engaged in love bombing me. In a span of a week, he backed off. Due to me going through a divorce, so he says, was curious what you thought. Can you give me his first name again? I'm not sure you gave me his first name last time. I have to say, I like Travis. I don't know that it's the divorce that, like, it feels more like not wanting to get involved with someone who's so like still in the mess of stuff, right? Not wanting to have, and also, like, I get the like seemingly love bombing thing, but I also think when people know us from our, like, have known us in life and then they reconnect or whatever, it doesn't feel as love bomby as if it were a stranger, or he didn't see it that way. Um, I don't think it's like um I feel like maybe somebody got into his ear a little bit about it, but I also feel like wanting to not wanting to set himself up to be the rebound, I guess is the best way to put it. Yeah, but sometimes people talk to people and they're like, "Ooh, maybe I shouldn't." Like somebody got in his ear. I don't think he's gone forever, though. I got to be honest with you. I also feel like your divorce is going to be settled sooner than you think. Except what I just got. Earth Angel, they're $12 a reading. I donate 30% to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey, not nursing. um, so I can link the payment here. Yeah, I don't feel like he's flaky. I just feel like it's sort of one of those ideas of like self-preservation and like not also like actually genuinely being interested in you and like not wanting to get you at the bad time and be a rebound. Like that's not in it for him. He doesn't want to be a rebound. He wants a real relationship. So, and I think that's like cautious. I can't fault somebody for that, right? Here's the link for payment, Angel. I'll pin it. I wouldn't want that either. And it's going on a year of separation. I get it. But, some people have that might be as much as you may feel that way, right? Someone else may have that's their boundary is I don't want to be involved with someone who's still going through that process of getting a divorce. Even if you said it already, it might have just been one of those things where you really thought it over or had a conversation with somebody. That's the feeling, I guess, had a conversation with somebody talking about you. And that was maybe I need to step back a little bit. So what I would say is back off, just go silent, let him figure it out. I don't think he's gone forever, and it doesn't feel flaky to me. It just feels like one of those is maybe I need to rethink this one, or maybe I need to, because he had a conversation with somebody about it. Yeah, I don't think he's gone forever. Nope. Wait, Christine, did you pay for, hang on, another one? Okay, you got a second one. Okay. No chasing. No chasing at all. At all. Okay. Did you have another question? You can't send a payment at the moment. Okay. Well, you know what? Just stay around because I'm offering everybody, if you just hang out at the end of this, I'm offering everybody, I have 8 different decks. You can do an Oracle card reading for free. Free is good, right? If you don't want to, that's fine too. Of course. Is he the person I'm dating next, or is it someone else? It's actually, I feel like you'll date somebody else first. And it ends up being a little more casual, just a couple month thing. And then I feel like somebody else, then he comes back in. I feel like he's not really gone. I just feel like, because I keep thinking you'll see him again. Okay, Michelle. I'll put you in line because I have a list already going. So I'll ask you to retype that in a little while. Let me go back up and reboot my list. Christine, I think I spelled your name wrong. So my apologies. I'm putting it again, and I think I spelled it wrong, so forgive me. But I'm putting it the same way so we know it's the same Christine. And then Michelle. Okay. Yeah, so that's my feeling. I feel like there'll be somebody else in between. It doesn't feel like it's a long-term relationship, but it feels like it gets you what you need. And I will leave it at that. Okay. It gets you what you need, I think is the best way for me to put it. Oops, don't do that. Okay. All right, KK, what's your question? Happening in my career over the next 6 months to 1 year. Everything feels stagnant and I don't know where I'm headed or how to make more money. I feel like your status quo is where you're at. Like it might feel stagnant or whatever, but I feel like also there's security and stability there. So like that's where you stay. But I actually feel like you might end up, this is not weird, but like getting some kind of trainer license, like doing some kind of athletic, I don't know. I don't know that it's yoga or Pilates, but teaching some classes, like picking up and teaching some classes like that on the side to make extra money. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like really enjoying that aspect and starting to do that a little bit more. It feels like completely different from what you're doing now. Maybe, yeah, maybe it's spin classes because I'm like, it's something athletic. It doesn't feel like, so it feels like I pick up a few classes and I'm teaching those. I think you might do more than you realize just because you enjoy it. It feels like I'm doing that to make extra money and because I enjoy it. So, like, why not? Because it just feels totally opposite of what you're doing now at work. But I feel like I keep my work job because stability. It's like it's boring or whatever, but there's stability there and it's decent income. And then to make a little bit more and have like a little bit of extra money, I do the spin classes. And then like the thing is like I'm like, well, like the feeling I get is, well, I work out anyway, might as well get paid to do it. And I actually feel like you really enjoy teaching other people and helping them and watching them grow and their success as they um, work out and like get stronger and healthier and seeing them improve. That's my feeling. You're very welcome. Okay, Katrina, what are your questions? And then I'm going to just put list as closed so we don't get too far off. Katrina, are you here? If Katrina's not here, Christine, if you want to do your first question. Okay. And I'll answer your second question since you made the payment. I'm going to answer it like after everybody, those couple other people paid. I'm going to answer the second one that way just because I feel like that's fair. I'm thinking of stepping back from my career to have better work-life balance. I'm like WLB, gotta figure that one out. I don't want to give up my career. Do you see I'll take a break, come back, or have part-time opportunity in my own business? Can I ask what you do? Just so I don't have to work so hard. Sorry. So I feel like I'm just going to start telling you before I see what it is, but I feel like initially you'll work part-time and then even start your own business. But I'm going to tell you something like the feeling is like, no, work part-time. I think you're kicking around the idea of like opening your own business or doing, but I think it may turn into more of a consulting thing because, which is a little different than I feel like having your own business. Because the feeling is that like I might work like freelance or something, but like my own business, I feel like, why is it different? it's different because I feel like own business, you're putting on, like, you're even doing more time than when you're working for somebody else. Like, there's a lot more work. While you're not having to answer anybody else, it ends up being a lot more work. That's why it feels like freelance, more like picking up jobs, odd jobs here and there. You're a software developer. Yeah. So I could see you doing like freelance or part-time, like, or picking up like part-time initially and then maybe picking up freelance jobs and working, like doing projects here and there, maybe for startups or something like that. But I don't see you starting your own business, only because it feels like there's so much more work to that. So it's like I feel like initially I'm going to go part-time and then I'm going to just do like freelance type stuff. And it's also this idea of like, and I can charge more somehow or get more on the back end or something. Like, maybe you, like, if it's a startup, you take shares if they IPO or whatever. What's your second question? There's a startup opportunity you were offered, but what you weren't sure if it was the right way to go. That particular one might not be. I'm not 100%. Is that your question or general police reading? Okay. So my, like, I don't think it's a bad one. I just don't think it's going to be as lucrative as you would hope for it to be. Like, you'll get paid what you need to get paid for it, but I don't think it's going to be as lucrative as you'd like it to be. Okay, general reading. Hmm. So I'm like, well, what do you need to know in this moment right now? And I'm just kind of like paying attention to what I feel energetically. And it's almost like this idea of like, do not take this the wrong way. Like, I just feel like I'm existing. I'm going through the day to day. And it's sort of this idea of like, I feel very almost robotic in the way I move through the world. Um, and it's this idea of like learning to like really dig deep and connect in with yourself a little bit more. Um, I think the robotic thing is funny as you're an engineer, a software engineer. Um, Not to laugh at you. It's just, I was like, oh, that's an interesting connection. Um, it isn't that I feel so disconnected from myself. I just feel very um, grounded, not fully connected to my spiritual side. And it's the sense that when you connect deeper into that, the rest of life becomes more rich for you. The experience becomes more vibrant. Um, they're saying it's like the idea of like if you have less picture pixels in a frame, um, it's the details aren't there. It's not refined. You can't get the like the nuances of like say shading and color. It just doesn't hold the same. And so it feels like when you learn to connect in more with your own spiritual side, your own intuitive side, recognizing how much more like I get that you're here asking these questions. So obviously you believe in something bigger or some, right? But it's the idea of like when you realize that you can do all of this too, it just becomes a better experience, right? It's like being more involved in a video game if you can turn the sound on, like it, and it's got music. It's not just like the jumping sounds, something like that. It's like this idea of like, okay, this might be a little bit of a stretch, but when I go on walks, especially when I go by myself, I connect with the trees. I try to spend time connecting with the trees. And it's this idea that like all of the trees, I don't want to say in the world, but where there is like on the continent where there is like, they're able to fully like reach out and connect through root systems are all interconnected in my own spiritual mind. I don't know if that's true or not. But it's this idea of like when you learn to like connect in and reach that part of you, you recognize how vast and amazing the world is and how we are all interconnected. And like once you start to like dig in and go within, and maybe that's about breath work or meditation, and meditation is truly just being present in the moment. So like doing these readings is truly meditative because I have to pay attention to everything, the way the messages come through. It's like, how am I feeling it? Where is it coming in? Am I getting it? Why am I rubbing my arm? Do you have an issue with your arm? Like things like that, where I have to be like fully kind of paying attention to all the ways that it can come in order to give that message. Probably why I don't remember most of these readings. Like I don't remember clients a lot of the time. It's nothing personal. It's just like where I've had people are like, oh yeah, you've read for me like 3 times. I'm like, holy shit, sorry. Because I don't go through and look through if something gets booked, I'm like, okay, I just want to look at the date and time. I need to know in my head, I've got a reading and I need to be present and available here. And beyond that, I don't really look at who it is or what it is. I look at the name quick before I sit down, make sure I have the right name for the person. But like, there's like no research. I don't have time for it. And I also like want to know that I'm like really deeply connecting in, but I don't remember readings. So that might be why, but it's like this idea of like just being more meditative, doing, it's kind of like when, like it's making your spiritual connection practical, right? So it's like, we don't always have the 20 minutes to sit down and do a breath work practice plus a meditation practice plus journaling plus da, 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 da. Like it's like just throughout your day, make sure you're breathing, like stop and like, oh, I haven't really paid attention to this, let me just like take 3 breaths here and there. And then recognizing how you are a divine spark. We all have this spark of divinity within us, and we are all deeply interconnected. And so like the grace that you are willing to offer others, offer that to yourself. um you know Even turd bucket Trump is a part of that divinity and a part of all that is. And um I don't wish ill will on him. I just wish he would work from a different place. And yet maybe on a collective whole, we need the big, like, oh, this really sucks. We can't suffer through the trauma anymore. Time to make a revolution and change. Okay. Yammering. Oop. Sorry. Apologizing to myself. Okay. Let me look at the list again and re-update it and exchange it. Christine, I'll take your first question. And then you're very welcome And I just have to wait for this to clear. Let me see. Christine, let me see your first question. Did you write it somewhere? Oh, there it is. Okay. Is the Asian neighbor getting my fruit off my tree, my lychee tree? Are gone. Can you just give me their first name? I don't need to know what their ethnicity is. That's not necessarily important. I actually don't think it's your neighbor. I think it's the birds. I got to be very honest with you. I don't think it's your neighbor at all. I think your neighbor may have taken one or two. Nothing like insane, but I feel like it's actually they've got birds that are liking it. So get to know your neighbor. Introduce yourself. Wouldn't hurt, but I feel like it's like she may have taken a couple, but I feel like it's actually the birds. My grandmother used to always have fig trees in all of her places. She owned a couple different houses and always had fig trees, always made fig jam. But the birds, like, well, I remember going out there and like wanting to try one. It was like they were all like half eaten by birds. So somehow she was able to get them and collect them for fig jam. When I went to the funeral, we had the brunch at my cousin's house, and she made fig jam. She's like, "Oh, this is my uncle's favorite." I was like, "Oh, I love fig jam," and she said that was our grandmother's recipe, which I didn't know, and then I didn't know she had a recipe to share, so I'm gonna need to get that from her. And I was like, my mom hated figs because my grandmother always had made stuff with figs. Yeah, I don't think it's your neighbor. I don't. I saw birds, like immediately saw birds. So I feel like that's your culprit. I feel like your fig trees will fruit again in like 2 years. So. Okay, Miss Regine, what's your question? I'll do your second question after everybody else since you paid for it separately, right? So Regine paid for one and then Devery paid for one, and then you go like so. Just to fairness so that everybody's not waiting so long. What do you need to know? Okay. I just feel like it's a feeling of like just keep going, keep doing what you're doing. The way you're doing readings on your TikTok is going to change slightly. I also feel like the videos you're providing will change slightly too. In like a year, your channel is going to look completely different. You're going to feel like you have more authority in what you're doing. Your videos you're going to feel more comfortable on video. I still feel a little like insecurity or not sure what that is. Like, it's not being afraid to be seen, but not comfortable being seen. Have you been looking at that laundromat? Feels like start looking at the laundromat. You're applying for loans. Great. Because I was like, now's the time. Now's the time. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, Miss Devery, your question. You're very welcome. So got Devery and then Christine. Devery doesn't get in here. I'll do Christine. I'll do your second question. Yeah, I do feel like you'll have another job in August. So here's the thing. I don't know that it'll be in like to replace what you have. I feel like might be in addition to what you have. So I don't know that it'll be a full-time job. It might be like a part-time with potential to move to full-time, or like a something like that. I don't feel like it's a like to replace where you're at. Not initially, at least. Christine had a second question. So exhausted, 3 days, tired. Will the OBGYN I have in Orlando help me with this? I have blood work. Christine, I immediately, if you're here still, just since you said you had to go, yeah, you'll keep the job that you're at, Devery. Christine, I felt like make sure they do your A1C, not just your fasting blood glucose, but do an A1C on you. I suspect that you're like pre-diabetic, and also vitamin D deficiency, and look at the B12 as well. And that's what I feel on that. So if you come back to this, that's your second question. And then Michelle, what's your question? I've been having some health challenges. I'm trying to figure out for the root causes. I want to know if I'm looking at the right things and with the right doctors. I feel really tight in my throat. I'm leaning towards that being a thyroid issue. Does that resonate? You have a goiter that returns. I was like, woof. Okay. And you do iodine supplementation? I also feel really tight here in my back. Do you have like do you have scoliosis or something? Because it doesn't feel like a slip disc. It feels like there's curvature on my spine. And this is like somewhere between lower thoracic and upper lumbar area. You have scoliosis. Okay. You don't take iodine and you have a goiter? Lady, don't you know what the goiter belt is? Michigan is like in the goiter belt. And that's actually why they discovered like how much iodine to give to people, because they wanted to figure out how much iodine you need to like get rid of the symptoms of a goiter. So whoever you're with, make sure they check your iodine levels, and if you need iodine for goiter. They said that it's a functioning fine. It is a cyst, not inflammation. I feel like it might be beneficial, and I'm not that I don't believe in Western medicine, but to go to like either like Chinese medicine doctor or acupuncture or like a functional medicine doctor. I just feel like looking at somebody, having somebody look at it from a different perspective. Um, I feel like if you had like you need some kind of iodine supplementation. I also feel like, and I'm not telling you to do this on your own, like go through with a doctor for this one, but also and your functional medicine doctor, I feel like would do that. Um, I also feel like there's a lot of stuff in your diet that like is healthy, but like not great for your body at this time. Like it's sort of like needing to like heal your gut, uh, sort of remove some inflammation. I feel like I'm being shown no gluten, no dairy, and like nightshades for you. I don't know what nightshades are, but that's what I heard. So like tomatoes, I know are nightshades. Um, like aren't your friends right now. Yeah. And then I also feel like probably need vitamin D. Vitamin D is actually a hormone. And I know for me, like my hormones, everything was out of whack. Probably for a little while, but like COVID definitely tipped me over the edge when I got it, especially one of the last times I got it. Um, and it was like, I've had a histamine intolerance issue my entire life. As I look back historically, like all the things like having hives through like developing allergies, which then I would grow out of to different foods, which was probably an MCAS histamine issue, all kind of started around the age of like from trauma, my parents divorcing, things like that. Migraines, everything else, and figuring that out. And it just feels like when one tips out of balance, they all kind of tip out of balance. And perimenopause too, but there's other things that will exacerbate the symptoms of perimenopause. I would not be surprised if you're estrogen dominant. So you might also need a little bit of progesterone. I suspect, and I'm going to say this is not, I feel like it's just all cyclical. So it's like, yeah, the stress may be causing, but other things are also causing stress within your body, which are then like ramping up your sensory and your nervous system overload. It's like cyclical. It's not really just highly recommend like especially when people are perimenopause, just eat for insulin resistance. So like ramp up your fiber, like not overnight, because if you're not used to eating a lot of fiber, that's just the worst thing you could do for your body. But I get between like 30 and 50 grams of fiber a day, depending on the day. Um, Usually closer to 50. But it helps clear out a lot of like the estrogen in your body. It also helps feed the bacteria, like the bacteria in your gut that like needs that in order to stay within balance. Um, So I take high D, high vitamin C, and B complex. But I feel like you'll get it under control, but I also feel like needing to go to a functional medicine doctor to get that figured out because like the throat feels like um, it feels like reducing inflammation within your body, and then walking is fabulous, drinking lots of water. All of that will actually help you not feel so stressed out. Like I will tell you that when I eat gluten, I can have a little bit of it, but I really can't have it every day. It has to be like a treat. And even then it doesn't feel great. But like I know that if I have too much, I will have anxiety the next day and like neck pain. And when I don't have it, I don't have that. Also, added sugar is not your friend. You can have all the fruit in the world. Like it doesn't feel like fruit's your issue or anything that's occurring naturally, like in dairy or whatever. And they're like, oh, you have sugar. I feel like, but like added sugar for a while, like take it out for 2 weeks and just see. But processed sugar feels like it's also creating a lot of issues for you. I don't feel like you'll need to remove it. I just feel like kind of getting this other stuff under control will stop it. I don't feel like you'll need to remove it. I'm not telling you, don't listen to the doctors. I'm just feeling like long term, I don't feel like that's where you're going with it. Okay. All right. So let's do quick card readings and then call it a day. Who wants a card reading? Say I. Say me. Whoever says I first or me first, you get the first reading. That's how we do it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to let you guys pick your deck, and I'll do whatever deck you guys want. So you can do these individually. I'll tell you what I have down here, and next week I'll bring some more down, so then you'll have more options. I've got my inner child one, past life, spirit animal, enchanted map, dragon path, messages from your angels, daily guidance from your angels, and then the Green Witch Oracle deck, which I kind of like, but that's just me. Okay, so let's start with KK. Which deck do you want? Green Witch Oracle deck. Feeling witchy. I like this deck. I think it's cute. Cards look like this on the outside, which I like the back side of it. I don't know. In the box, it's just really cute. All right, so pulling a card for KK. What does she need for this week? Okay. Winter, an ending. What does it say? An ending, recharging, reflection. And I'll read what it says in the book. Okay. Okay, so card meaning. Winter is a quiet time. In nature, most plant life is suspended. Animals are hibernating and food becomes scarce. Winter tells you that the end of something is coming or has already happened. Don't lament. This also means there is an opportunity for something new and better. In every ending, there is a beginning. The cycle of nature never stops. The winter card encourages rest and reflection on what has come to be. Mourn if you need to, identify the things that went well and what you want to do differently. As you engage in this reflection, remember to look ahead to spring and begin to consider what projects you'd like to focus on next using the knowledge you've gained from this time of assessment. Reflection. What big lessons have you learned after slowing down and allowing yourself time to reflect on what has ended or passed? Ooh. Okay. Okay. All right. So next in line is Michelle, and she chose messages from my angels. All right. You're very welcome. See, you don't have to pay for readings here. These ones are easy. They don't have to work that hard for these ones. All right, so this is for Michelle, and who wants to pop up for her? Ooh. All right. 2 popped out, so we're going to give you 2. Lucky you. You got Maya and Mystique. So Maya first. Maya is schooling, study, and education to help your life's purpose and personal growth at this time. The angels will guide you and help you with this process. Additional message. We strongly recommend that you continue with your education because the additional information and experience will accelerate the fruition of your life's purpose. You may worry about having the means to go forward with this schooling, but we assure you that everything will be provided to you along the way. This education process brings you great rewards. It enriches your understanding of your spiritual power and accelerates your memory of and motivation toward your life's purpose. We will guide you to teachers, schools, books, funds, schedules, and all of sorry, I really need my reading class and all of the resources that are plentifully available to you now. What was your question, by the way, when we did your question? I don't remember it. Oh, yours is the health one. So maybe it's educating yourself on all of that stuff. Okay, and then Mystique is keep charging ahead and don't take no for an answer. Expect miraculous solutions to appear. You are on the right path, although it might seem to take a lot of time and effort. Keep up the good work. You are definitely making progress towards your intended outcome. Sometimes flexibility is called for when you're working toward an aim. But in this instance, you need to stay firm in your conviction. Compromise will only water down the divine plan that you're manifesting. Resist the urge to bend or to please others. In the end, these individuals will be pleased by the outcome. You're following a divine course, and others may not be privy to the same vision that you're following. Do your best to explain this vision to the others involved, but don't feel the need to defend your action. Look at my picture. Sorry. I am coming out of the darkness and into the light. So are you. You know what you're doing, and we in heaven are here to back you up fully. That seems quite perfect for you, doesn't it? Okay. Eyeballs. Readjusting. You're very welcome. Okay, so we did Michelle. Okay, then Katrina is next. Then Regine, then CB, then Larry. Katrina wants to go Green Witch. Okay. And then after Katrina is Regine. Regine, which did you want? You want the dragon one? Got it. So I'll do that, and then I'll do the Green Witch again. And then Larry wanted the enchanted map. Is that the one you wanted, Larry? Okay, so this is for Katrina. Let's give me a card for Katrina. What card does she need for her message right now in this moment? It would be the most beneficial for her. All right, hang on. I have to do one different thing. That's like, that's the way we're going to do it. Okay. Summer. Expansion and growth. I swore I shuffled those a lot. All right. Summer is bursting with energy. The sun is high, the weather is warmer, and the nights are shorter. Summer brings increased growth for all living things. But all this energy and unrestricted growth can get out of hand. Increased growth means increased attention is required to manage your projects so you ensure everything unfolds properly. The summer card means it's an optimal time for expansion, but it also tells you to keep an eye on the energies in your life so that they stay focused and productive. If you don't tend your garden, it will become overgrown and scraggly. Some endeavors will fail as others overshadow them, like a vine strangling a beautiful plant. Reflection: what parts of your life can you expand to feel more fulfilled? Okay, and then I think Regine is next with the dragon. And then you're very welcome. Right? Did I say Regine? And then it'll be CB. Okay. Ooh. This is for Regine. I should work with her today. Give her a message who is helpful, beneficial for her today. in this moment. That one. Spirit, number 8. Find the book. Where's the book? Where's the book? Where's the book? Regine? Where's the book? Dear book, where'd you go? I don't know where the book went. Did I take the book out? Oh my God. Okay, Regina, I'm going to email you yours because I think the book potentially is upstairs. Did I take it out and not put it back in? Or one of my kids? I swear I just had it. Hang on. What is going on? This is so weird. Yeah, Regina, I'm going to email you yours unless you want to pick a different deck. You can see the card again, totally. And I'm happy to email you what it says about it. Let me see if I can Google it if it's on somewhere. Let me just I'm gonna see if there's somewhere there's a picture of the book. Someone's got a flip through of the cards, but I was gonna see if I could find, but I don't see it. I'm gonna find the book. I think it's upstairs. I'm so sorry. Do you want me to Okay, it's appropriate. Okay, I'm still gonna look for it and I'll email it to you. That's not an issue. Okay, because I don't know where the book. I think it's upstairs. Okay, I know where it is. I'm sorry. I'm still gonna email you. All right, this one is for CB. What card does she need right now? What card would be most beneficial to her? Walking staff, support and encouragement. So this is what the card looks like. Reminds me of the Ace of Wands. Card meaning. The walking staff is at home providing help and support when you are tromping through the woods, as if it is comfortable in a garden, being used to prop something up. In essence, the staff is a form of a wand, a magical tool used to direct energy and aid in focus. The walking staff card suggests that some part of your life needs more support, something to lean on, or something to help you focus your efforts. Like a plant may need a stake to help it stay upright until it develops enough strength in its stem to stand alone. Your life may be easier if you have something or someone to lean on. A journey can take much less effort if you use a walking staff to give you extra security along the way. Can you identify which parts of your life are lacking strength? Okay, that seems perfect too. All right. Then I think, Larry, are you last? And then you wanted the Enchanted Map Oracle cards. Let me make sure I have the book for that one. I feel like such a turd for not having that. Sorry. All right. I've got the book. Okay. All right. What is Larry need today? What would be most beneficial for him? What insight do you have for Larry? Most helpful. Let's see what that is. Cleaning house. So the number 37, cleaning house. Tiny little jester and a cat. So it says, it's time to clear the clutter to make way for better things. And it was upright. So it says, when you see the cleaning house card in a reading, it's time to declutter your life. Get rid of unwanted things in your physical home and release what you no longer want or truly need. Is there any unfinished business you should address? Thoughts, memories, or emotional baggage must be swept out of your house as well. Your conscience must be clear for you to move freely in the world. Celebrate a spring cleaning and feel the freedom as you make your way for much better things. Look at what you've resisted discarding and be honest about its value. Be honest. Clean house. Okie dokie. All right. I hope that was helpful. I will see y'all next Sunday. I am here. Have a wonderful week.